on the high seas for so long. There were preservatives. We don't know how, when those birds were slaughtered and processed in US or Europe, and how many months they stayed before they are cleared at the seaports in Joburg, in Pretoria, whatever, before it gets to the dinner table. Now, will this have health implications for citizens of South Africa? Yes. Will they have health implications for Nigerians? Yes. So this story we're talking about is not just about South Africa and the US. It's currently between Nigeria and the European Union as well.
Well said. Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Channels TV business editor, Bosuna Mofaye. And speaking of health issues, let's take you through another issue that has got scientists talking. Scientists are concerned that a little-known bacterial disease may be killing as many people worldwide as measles, while a mosquito-borne virus known as Zika is also raising global alarm. Researchers in the journal Nature Microbiology called for the bacterial infection melioidosis, which is resistant to a wide range of antibiotics, to be given a higher priority in international health organizations and policymakers. At the same time, scientists at Britain's Oxford University warned that a virus known as Zika, which is carried by mosquitoes and has caused a major outbreak in Brazil, has the potential of rapid spread to new areas. Let's just bring you some quick facts about Zika and melioidosis. First, we look at what happens regarding Zika. It is a mosquito-borne virus, and it causes mild symptoms of fever, rash, joint pain, and eye redness. About 1 in 5 people who are infected actually become sick. It's important to note that there is no medication for the illness, and it typically clears up with rest and fluids within a week. It's not fatal, but it might pose a risk to pregnant women's fetuses. Pregnant women traveling to affected areas should take several precautions, like using insect repellent, wearing long-sleeved shirts and long pants, and also staying in places with air conditioning or with window and door screens to keep mosquitoes outside. Now, regarding melioidosis, it's an infectious disease caused by a bacterium that's Burkholderia pseudomallei. And melioidosis infection commonly involves the lungs. It is diagnosed with the help of blood, urine, sputum, or skin lesion testing. Melioidosis is also treated with antibiotics, and the overall mortality rate is 40%. Still talking health, and in this case, what's happening regarding Lassa fever. Over now to that issue, we understand that at the Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital, where medical practitioners say the Lassa fever has been spreading in the country, and that's because authorities have not given the disease the attention it requires. The officials who conducted the process told Channels Television that the foremost and only Lassa Fever Research Institute in the country is asking the government to set up more diagnostic centers across the country.
The idea for the Lassa Fever Research Institute in Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital, Edo State, was born after a family in Ekwuma, also in Edo State, was almost wiped out by the disease. The chief medical director of the hospital says the disease is endemic in Ekwuma and many other communities across the nation.
Well, we think it's endemic in Ekwuma. It may also be endemic in many other communities in Nigeria. But you see, if there's no index of suspicion, or if test has not been done in that community, you may not know what's causing the fevers and what's causing the death. Like I said, Ekpuma's case only came to limelight after the Chicago-based engineer had gone back to America and his blood was investigated and Lassa fever virus was found in there. And when the news came back, we knew we had Lassa fever in Ekpuma.
The Lassa vector, the multi-mammate rat, is a look-alike of the house rat, but brown and has up to 24 breasts.
We don't ask people to go looking for those features, but the major message is that you should make your house rodent-proof.
This is the laboratory where testing is carried out.
Here is a specimen of a positive gel picture.
19 positive cases have been confirmed since November 2015. At the isolation ward, a more protective clothing is needed. A patient who presented early is responding to treatment, while another brought in a day before is in a more critical condition.
Currently, we would have put her on a machine to assist the kidney, which we call hemodialysis. That is the process and procedure. But currently, she's not a candidate for that because she's showing good response to treatment. He has complicating renal failure. His kidneys are failing. He's had one episode of hemodialysis. He was put on the machine yesterday on an emergency basis because the kidneys were not really working.
Just 2 dialysis machines are available and solely dedicated to viral hemorrhagic fever. The research center has produced professionals whose skills have largely been exported.
Our staffs have been in Sierra Leone and Liberia. In Sierra Leone and Liberia, they do a lot of work for them there.
According to these doctors, though Lassa fever is endemic in Nigeria, it has largely been ignored.
Since 1969, Lassa fever became known as a clinical entity, and now we are in 2016. Many people are not aware. The drugs are not still largely available. Vaccines are not available. Unlike other diseases that have had serious attention. Look at Ebola, it just came, everybody contributed and it was done.
This disease is real, and it's been killing so many people. It has wiped out families from the surface of the earth. Then from 2008, it kept moving, as you can see from the map. You can appreciate it better from the map. And it kept spreading and spreading to where we got today in 2013. Can't you see the map all colored?
They say funding is a big challenge.
Since that 2007, been making a case or made a case repeatedly for the establishment of centers of this nature in the other geopolitical zones in the country or health zones in the country, because Nigeria is a vast country. And again, as we said earlier, you don't want a situation where patients with viral hemorrhagic fever, Lassa fever, are managed in ordinary ward and facilities. You want dedicated facilities for them. But as we speak, sadly, I'm not aware that these centers have attained any stage of replication elsewhere in the country.
Many deaths from Lassa fever have occurred, with some cases unreported. It is hoped that more diagnostic centers will be set up to diagnose and tackle the disease.
Now, definitely one lesson we can take from that report is to ensure that our homes are rodent-free to avoid becoming victims. But still to come on Network Africa. It's celebration time for the United Nations General Assembly as it marks the 70th anniversary of its very first meeting.